You all may be seated. So at this time, I'd like to recognize the presence of the Honorable Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero, Governor of Guam, the Honorable Joshua F. Tenorio, Lieutenant Governor of Guam, members of the 37th Guam Legislature, Speaker Therese M. Terlahi, Senator Dwayne Sinicolas, Chairperson, Military and Veteran Affairs. From the Mayor's Council of Guam, the Honorable Frankie Salas, Mayor of Asen. The Honorable Anthony Charkaloff, Mayor of Inalahan. From the Leon Guerrero Tenorio Cabinet, from the Guam Office of Veteran Affairs, Director Jose San Agustin. From the Department of Public Works, Vincent Areola. Going back to the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs, Colonel Joe Muffness, Governor's Office Veterans Liaison. And back to the Department of Public Works, Linda Ibanez, Deputy Director. From the Guam Veterans Commission, Roy Gamboa, Vice Chairman. Additional stakeholders, Mega United Corporation Limited. All veteran organizations and members in attendance today. And all those joining us in person and virtually, welcome. And now I'd like to give this time for opening remarks. Please welcome to the podium the Honorable Joshua F. Tenorio, Lieutenant Governor of Guam.
Thank you so much, Tanya, and thanks so much for your work. Good morning, everybody. And good morning to our veterans families, and everybody that works hard at the Veterans Affairs Office to pay attention to this very, very special place. You know, my personal connection to this cemetery is going to be about 30 years coming this October, and that's because my dad died in a car accident. He was killed in a car accident very unexpectedly, but he's buried, actually, in retrospect, he has a really good spot right around the cul-de-sac. If you see that back area, he's behind that concrete bench, which is, by the way, very hot during All Souls Day to sit on. So I always wonder, by the way, Gov, and I don't think this is, Gov Guam doesn't set the schedule for these, right? These are based on the church schedule, but I always wondered, why is it we have the hottest time for All Souls Day every year? You know, by the time that we're finished here, you had to go and maybe take a shower or drink a gallon of water before you go to Pigo at 4 o'clock, because we've been down here for such a long time. I mention that because I come here often, as all of you, I'm sure. And so over the years, you see, you know, peaks and valleys of the cemetery. And we live in one of the most challenging conditions. People in logistics know living in an island where half the season is rainy can get very, very difficult for all of us, not to mention a cemetery. But the federal funds and the funding support and the local funds that were able to be merged into this project to get this going is such a long time coming. And it really is recognizing that not only have so many more veterans, veteran spouses, and children, young children of veterans are buried here, you know that we have such a large population and the cemetery is almost at capacity. So this first phase allows us to repair this chapel. And I was talking to the speaker earlier, you know, not all the churches are open for viewing. Many times the funeral homes are backed up for weeks, sometimes even a month, to try and get a date. And this is going to be a good option for our veterans and our families, especially the veterans that have small families. You know, there's been veterans that have died alone, veterans that are just that had just been supported by colleagues. You know, they didn't really have a big support system. And when they come here to be laid to rest, this is a place of peace, and it recognizes the valuable contribution that they had. And many veterans, they're the only ones sometimes that really would know what experience they had. Maybe they were able to share with colleagues. Maybe most of their colleagues were killed in the line of combat. Maybe they didn't want to share the kind of things that they saw with their wives and families. And many of them will go into their rest, not really being able to share with them, with others, really the extent of what they've done for our country and for all of us. And so it really is a very big step to bring the love and attention not only to this chapel, but also to the people that work here. We really expect a lot. In fact, when there's mistakes, well, I hear about it. I hear about things, and over the time, depending on the service that you left, sometimes the full military honors weren't given that you thought your family members should get. Those are all the challenges that we need to, that kind of compel us to make sure that we do better and work together so that we can always do better for the next person, and to try and give comfort and care to the family members and friends and colleagues that grieve every time a service member is laid to rest here. So I just want to thank Joe. Thank you very much for you and your team for all of the hard work in getting this done. I'm looking forward to this first phase of the project, and then continuing and building on this success. A future groundbreaking we know is coming for that will facilitate the expansion of plots here for the veterans. Thank you very much, and thank you for your service. Jesus Maasi.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. I'd like to welcome to the podium Senator Dwayne Nicholas, Chairperson, Military and Veteran Affairs.
Hafa and good morning to everybody. I learned of the sanctity of this place about high school. I've done many eulogies, but my first one was here, right here. I was eulogizing a high school classmate of mine. We played marbles and games throughout elementary, and he was a wonderful guy. And I did my first eulogy right here. And I know of the sanctity of the place. As a young or as a new senator, we came down here and we visited, and the place was in such disrepair. And it took this the work of this administration, together with Senator or Director San Augustine, to get to where we're at today. And I'm very thankful. When I say sanctity, it really goes deep into the heart, because this is a place where, souls meet, souls part, and it's a wonderful thing that we're actually repairing it, and I'm so thankful. And I just wanted to say that you have my support, my commitment to the veterans. One thing that I notice about America is that we love our veterans. I'm actually a veteran myself, and this is going to probably be my home later. not too in the near future, maybe. Not yet. I think they want me around a little bit longer. But this is a very sanctified place, and I love this place, and I'm very happy for all the progress that's being made thus far. And I'd like to thank everybody involved who's made this possible, especially the governor and lieutenant governor and all our senators in the legislature. So thank you very much, and thank you for all being here.
Thank you, Senator. I'd like to welcome now to the podium Director of the Department of Public Works, Vince Ariola.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Speaker, and Senator, and Mayors. When we first started this project with the Governor and the Lieutenant Governor, they of course put a very high priority on this project, and rightly so. Today, as I speak, we have about 50 projects throughout the island, and this is probably one of the most important ones that we'll certainly stay on top of. We definitely have a good, capable, experienced contractor in Mega United. Dave, where's Dave? I know the owner. There's Dave back there. Yeah, we just he's got a couple other projects that he's on, but we just spoke earlier this morning, and he knows we're going to stay on top of it for this beautiful chapel that we have here. I just came back from a pilgrimage where I saw quite a number of basilicas and cathedrals, and I come here and it's great to see this Veterans Chapel. While it's not certainly not going to be the size of a basilica or St. Peter's Basilica, we're going to make it really close, especially in terms of quality and in terms of beauty and in terms of purpose. And to all you veterans out there, I give you my word, we will stay on top of this. This will be a thing of beauty, a building of peace, a building of blessing, and a place to worship your loved ones. So again, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Speaker, Senator, thank you very much for funding this with Department of Interior money and ARP funding. And we'll look forward to the final ribbon cutting where we can see the fruits of all of our labor here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director. I'd like to now welcome to the podium the Vice Chairman of the Guam Veterans Commission, Mr. Roy Gamboa.
Howdy, everybody. Okay, I guess I'm a little too loud on this microphone. There's something to be said about a society, and you can base or judge a society based on how they treat their dead. And this next step in renovating not only the chapel, but the administration building and the maintenance building speaks a lot about who we are as a culture and who we are as a people. Like Senator Duane said, my final resting place will more than likely be on these grounds. Joe, Tanya, I'm hereby declaring my reservations for one of these beautiful plots. I too, like the Lieutenant Governor said, have a close connection with these grounds. My dad's only brother is buried up there. My father-in-law, Jose Cruz, he's up on the upper wing as well. And someday I will be probably in one of these crypts myself. What I appreciate about the chapel coming together, and what we appreciate, is the fact that now we as veterans know where the rally point is before we go to our final resting place up in the heavens. It's something to be said about military and veterans. We don't die, we just regroup. And this is going to be a very beautiful place to regroup before we head upstairs and we meet the rest of our brothers and sisters in arms. On behalf of the commission, the Veterans Commission here in Guam, sorry about that, the Veterans Commission on Guam, this has been a long time coming. This has been something that has been griped about for many, many years. And as being someone who has attended the Veterans Commission meetings for close to 10 years now, it's great to see that things are formalizing, coming together. We have a direct link and contact to the Governor, Lieutenant Governor. They're listening to our concerns. They know what is very important to us as a community. We said this a little while ago. We're not fighting anymore. Veterans are not fighting. We're not arguing with each other anymore. We're coming together. We're helping each other's organizations out. We're listening because the only way for elected officials to hear the voices of the veterans is when it's a united voice, indicating what we want, what we feel we've deserved and we've put our lives on the line for. The Veterans Commission is also very committed to working with Vince and the administration and the legislature to make more things come to fruition. We know that there's parks that we would love to adopt, take ownership of it. With Vince taking care of the roadways, we've got the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Highway. We'll be coming forward with the Operation Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, possibly looking for a monument for this generation's wars and the sacrifices of the individuals that we've lost. Mr. Beneventi's here. He's looking at also creating something down at Skinner's Plaza. So we know what's going on in the community. We couldn't be more thankful for, again, the administration finding the funding, listening to the veterans community and saying, hey, this is ours. This is something, this is a place where we can call a rally point for us. Let it be known when it's my turn to go, it's not going to be a solemn memorial. It's going to be something where, if everybody remembers Brother John Gerber, it was a nice little barbecue, some bands playing and all that stuff. Celebrate the life and celebrate what we've given. We can shed our tears behind our closed doors or whatever it may be, but I want people to remember me for this, for the life that I've had, and we will do the same thing for you, my brothers and my sisters in arms, and for the family that have come together to support us along the way. So, on behalf of the Veterans Commission, again, just stepping up to the plate. Joe had we just had some changeover in the leadership of the Veterans Commission. We couldn't be more thankful that we've actually taken the next steps to improve the grounds here in PD. So thank you very much on behalf of the Veterans Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And now I'd like to welcome to the podium the Honorable Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero, Governor of Guam.
Thank you very much, Tanya. Half a day. You know, I never really joined the military, but I have really good friends and even relatives that joined the military. And as I was sitting here, I was trying to imagine and reflect and remember the lives of those friends. And some of you probably remember in the good old days of our villages where we only had one telephone. It was a party line telephone. And I imagine our veterans, right? You know, say maybe Nito waking up in the morning as a little kid going to school. He grows up as a middle school, starts having girlfriends, and gets on the party line, one party line phone, and talks to the girlfriend, and the whole village of Manilo knows about our good friend here. So that's some of the fun things that I think about when growing up. And then Nito decides to Nick Francisco, sorry, decides to go to the prom with his girlfriend, buys a corsage, goes to the house, maningis to the family, and the father says, "A day, ha, Nick, no adahis tiagaho sa anafat sino niya behuspiaho." Right? We remember those fun things. Then, of course, sports. And then, you know, we grow older and Nick goes to the bars and he starts dancing to the tune of the casuals or the downbeats, right? This is the life. And then Nick decides to go and defend this beautiful island of Guam and goes and fights for the security, the safety, democracy, the freedom of our nation and our island. Nick joins this military and he's so proud and so dutiful. And he comes home, he retires, and everyone, veterans, this is their final resting place. The life of the veteran is so sacred. The life of a veteran is so respectful. The life of a veteran is so patriotic. And all of you deserve, like Senator said, the sanctity, the peace, the calmness, and the opportunity for our families to come here. And Josh can sit in the hot bench over there and reflect about his dad. And this is the final resting place, and it should be a place that is so rightfully deserving of our people and our veterans, because you have sacrificed your lives, you have went into harm's way, and did what you did to protect our island. And so one of the things we as a religious community so much treasure and cherish is a place where we can sit and reflect and be with our Lord and ask our Lord to take care of our loved ones and say our goodbyes. And we need to have a place where that is exactly what it is, a place of peace, solace, reverence. And this cemetery is going to provide that. And I just wanted to also echo that we as an administration will do everything we can to give you your very rightful, peaceful, eternal peace and place for all of us. And want to thank Joe for his very persistent. Really, Joe's a very persistent guy, and Joe also. I was watching him when the Codell came just last week, and we had the chair of the House Committee on Veterans Affairs, Mr. Bost, and Joe connected to that man because they had stories together. In fact, they only missed each other in their by 4 months in San Diego. And I told Joe, Joe, make that man your best friend because we are going to get what we need for our veterans through this man. He is the chair of the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. He can do a lot for the people of Guam. And Joe had no problem connecting to the man. And believe me, that chairman loved Joe. He wouldn't even let Joe go eat breakfast because he was talking to Joe about just things, right? You connected because you guys were veterans. But I say this because those are the kinds of things we, in our own way and capacity and authority, do to promote veterans. When we go to DC, we promote veterans. In fact, I was very, very aware and very made informed about there's a special a whole department of cemetery is what there's called in the Veterans Affair. There's a director of the Department of Cemetery. And that's all they do is make sure cemeteries are such pristine places and peaceful places for our veterans because that's an honor to them. And that's what we're also doing for our veterans here. And so this chapel is just one of many, many projects that we are going to be doing for our veterans, specifically just for the cemetery. Of course, there's other things that we're fighting for, but focusing specifically on this cemetery. And we know that we might outlive it pretty soon. And I know that Joe has a plan to get more land and build more spaces for our veterans and the families and the wives and to be able to come and also be part of that. But I was just looking at this, and I just wanted to say to Mega that I am very impressed on your scaffolding here. Right? Look at it's wood. This is the first time I've really seen a wood scaffolding, and I said to Linda, is Mega Asian? And she said yes, because when you go to Asia, right, and you see their construction, they use wood for scaffolding. And I even said to Linda, let's go climb up those stairs because I feel pretty. No, it looks pretty safe and secure than the metal scaffolding. But I just say that because it says to the construction people, we need to also do the best to build our chapel and renovate. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, and thank you so much for all your work. And Joe, I want you to go to DC and take that man out to dinner. No, serious, and meet with his committee people, because when we go to say give us some money for veterans, they'll have a face now connected to Guam. And that's how we do things. That's how we move things. So very honored, very proud, and very thankful for the leadership of Joe and also the staff of Joe. Man, they're hardworking people. They're out there. And also the veterans, and for the different organizations that are so much advocating for the rights and the services and the benefits of our veterans, and will continue on as long as we can possibly do, and not forget our veterans. Like Josh says, we'll continue to support you. Thank you, and Sizus Masi. And sorry, Nick, I saw you and I thought Nito, but I don't know if Nito Blas was also a veteran. Yes. Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Governor. And finally, let's welcome to the podium Jose San Agustin, Director of the Guam Office of Veteran Affairs.
Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Speaker Therese Terlahi, Dwayne Senecles, Senator, and my wonderful mayors that are here this morning, and to all our leaders from the Veterans Organization, and to all in attendance this morning. Thank you for being here. I'm not going to repeat what many of the leaders came up here to say. They basically covered all the grounds. What I would want to do this morning, besides saying thank you for supporting our efforts here, I want to take your attention away from the cemetery for now, the groundbreaking, and bring your attention to the Aspen office. There's been a debate whether the number is 5,000, whether the numbers of veterans is 11,000, or is the right number 24,000. I could tell you that the right number is 24,000 because we have the DD 214 that we served. And that will be the numbers that I will take to Washington and wherever I go to say that is the numbers we have because that's what we have on record. So with regards to us being able to serve that many veterans here on Guam and their families, what I would like to do is bring up all the staff that are from the Aspen office to my left. If you'll work your way up, please. The staff from the Aspen office, make your way up here to my left, please. Come on, guys, I only got 2 minutes to do this. From the Aspen office. Ladies and gentlemen, I must apologize. I do not want to prolong the event, but it is very important for me to do this. Very important. Come on up here, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still waiting. Mr. Joe Menu is back there. He's kind of shy. He's from Iran. Joe, come on up here, please. You're a key component to this movement. Ladies and gentlemen, to serve 24,000 veterans and their family on Guam, these are the staff that we have to make that happen. Please join me in a round of applause to thank them for their service. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. So this must see everyone. And they do an awesome job.
Yes, they do.
So besides our focus on the cemetery, I need you all to understand that this is part of the outreach that I'm conducting to let you all know that if you have family members, brothers, sisters, your cousins, Nito, classmates that have not registered with our office, please reach out to them because I could guarantee you many of them have not registered with our office, and it is very important. This pride, while they're proud of what they did in the service, yes, that's all good. We're not going to take it away, but we have an obligation. The VA has an obligation. They had tasked every 50 state and territory, get out there and find your veterans because we screwed this many years ago. Go find them because we need to take care of our veterans and their family. So you're the first piece of that. Next, I would like to now go into why we're here, the groundbreaking. Yes, it's been a long time awaiting. In 1949, this property was issued to the title of the U.S. Navy. In 1945. I know that because I have the title with me. In 1954 was the first burial. 1954. That's 70 years ago. 70 years ago, and we still exist. We're still here honoring those heroes and those that have gone before us and their families, doing the very best that we could to make sure that their final resting place is that of a dignified burial and a mansion or a shrine. And it is not that as we see it, it is now. That is what I will work toward to make sure that we make it a shrine and make it a mansion as beautiful as can be because they deserve based on the service that they provided to us. With that said, since 1954 up to this date, if I could have my cemetery staff up here to my left, please. Come on up here, guys, because I don't want to keep the folks waiting. Thank you. You know, this is another very important group of folks that I definitely need to make sure that I recognize them. This is a 16-acre landmass. 16 acres. And if you look around, while we still have a lot of work to do, I'm missing one individual, actually two. I'm missing Tom Mendiola, which is on leave, and one individual from the Department of Labor, which I think is taking care of some administrative stuff. To maintain 16 acre of land mass and to do burials, to complement visitors when they come down here, and to keep the beautification and keep this place beautiful and respectful. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the folks that do that kind of work. Please join me in a round of applause. So I mentioned to y'all that in 1949, the property belonged to the Navy, and 54 was the first time that a burial was done down here. I could tell you also that the only time that this property has been water blasted, if you look at the asphalt, the only time that this property has been water blasted was when it rains. You look at it. So my concern was it is part of the cemetery. For many years that it's not been addressed. It's slippery, especially the Manamco, and people like me that are starting to get old. And we always think of safety, right? But the fact of the matter is, because it is a cemetery property where our heroes and their families are buried, it is only right that it be clean. And this is it right here. I would like to bring, I call him Boboy, JP Ada, whom I think it took him about 3 weeks with a buffer like water blasting to complete this project. And look at it, so refreshing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So that's my 2 minutes. Me too have a connection to this cemetery. I have a stepbrother right here. I have a brother, Roy Santos, that died in 1985 in a car accident at Camp Pendleton. But my true connection here is these are our family. These are the veterans that served our nation. And their families are in here as well that have sacrificed because of them serving their nation. But not only that, I want to make sure that we do not forget that we do have infants in here that did not make it. And that's all the reason why I want to stick around as long as I could. I don't plan to die soon, but Lord knows that whenever, to do everything I could to make this place a national cemetery standard and more. And it's going to take me time. Besides the renovation of the 3 buildings that you all heard earlier from many of our presenters, we are also applying for what they call TPI or TIP, something like that, where the U.S. Military comes out here voluntarily and does work for us for free. All I got to do is get the material, and all I got to do is barbecue and feed them. So we are putting in an application for that in a smaller scale, and their job, to what I see, is kind of revitalize many of our crypts that are dilapidating. Many of our crypts that are dilapidating. Because after 70 years, 60 years, you kind of expect that. But as a caretaker of the place, your job too is make sure you revitalize it back to its original state, and that is our plan. And I thank the military liaison, Vera Tapasnia, and Joe Napati for bringing to my attention that kind of program. and it's going to happen between 6 months to a year. So the governor told me that when I go to D.C. to make sure I feed, this Codell delegate, Mr. Bogues. Well, let me go back to my trip in April, and I might as well just let the cat out of the bag. My trip in April in Kentucky was a Veteran Cemetery Grants Program leadership training, and I could tell you that my intent to go there was to negotiate the $8.2 million that was offered of us for the expansion of this cemetery. What I was very appreciative of was the leadership training that was conducted by that organization, the National Cemetery Administration, which is the governor was alluding to earlier, that you got to take care of your folks. You got to take care of your employees. For you to have good results in what you do, you got to make sure you take good care of your employees. And I'm doing my darn best because I think tomorrow, I don't know, I'm supposed to roast a pig for them and then deliver it here by 12 noon. So I'll see if that's going to happen tonight, that I butcher the pig and roast it for them. But my travel to Kentucky was of such significance that the director of the grants program and I, the last day of the conference, Googled the cemetery. And he was asking me, Joe White, do you keep bugging me that you need more money? Isn't the $8.2 million enough? I said, no, let's Google. Let's remove that hill that's doing nothing and turn it into something. We're not going to be doing many more underground burial. Once the 4-year underground burial is full, everything else will be crypts and column burials. The column burials here, you see, leaders and ladies and gentlemen, based on the magnitude of burials. We still have another set over there by the trees. Right now, we're good for this till 2049. 2049. So as we Google, and I told the director of the Cemetery Grants Program that this is what I want to get done. This is where we're going to build. This is where we're going to build to expand so we exceed or get close to at least 50-year life more. The 8.2, and you can record this and give it to the media, went from 8.2 to 13 million with a cap of me not to exceed $50 million. That's where we're at. So that's why I love all the employees that work down here. And I love what I do. So there was a question several years ago where, if this place is full, where do we go? If it's full, where do we go? And I'm not going to put, because it's not me, I don't put people on the spot. But in May 28, 1983, then Speaker Joe T. San Augustine of the 22nd Guam Legislature. And the one thing good about being in this kind of job is when you're nice, you can kind of get some information for free. So during that 22nd Guam Legislature, there was a bill that was passed, and that bill number was 483, identifying 620 acres down in Santa Rita for a Guam Veterans Memorial Center. Of that 620 acres, 10 of that was supposed to be for the Guam Veterans Memorial Center. This is 16 acres. My next step is to get with my boss and DPW and the senators and give me guidance on what I could do with this property. I want to build an office. We need a place for an office. But if I'm not able to build an office based on that the definition or the title, I want to take first dibs for our veterans to get the best place within that 620 acre so I could mark it off for that memorial monument And 10 acres is a lot. All I need is an acre for a memorial monument. The rest, I think I should turn into a cemetery as a backup plan. Ladies and gentlemen, Governor and everyone, thank you for being here. That was my 5 minutes. This is a good thing for our veterans and their family. And if you have not yet orientated yourself, you look at the chapel and the way our leaders and many of you are seated here. It's going uphill, uphill. Like any strive, when you fight to move upward, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of work. The thing about it is we are moving upward and we're moving uphill. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for everybody that's been here to support this, to our veterans, leaders that are here and those that are not here. Thank you for your support. Let's continue to fight for the great of our veterans and their family. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. So before I call everybody up here for the ribbon cutting ceremony, I'd like to call upon Mr. Joseph Meno from the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs to do a prayer.
We just have everyone please rise. Zaman arispecta hit como inasegnata per i saina za upapung ginanitata ilahinya za Espiritu Santo. Amen. Asana yung gagazi un especial na bendisyon za tinadudun para todo ititota ni para tatogi gini pabu na ora. Especialmente para todo y mañanata za ni mañaluta ni man como veterano y a saguanía y famaguanía san todo y familia ni y insetsegui todo y ni na señata guini como para i menaulegno guini gitano ingagazi specialmente lo questi na setsu guini in fafesina un nisgayon i tautawis ni para umatsogis na project so ingagazi lo que specialmente para hami ni in fatututui ma veterano sia ingagazi un special na bendisyon dan tinadudun ton na yang animo ni para tasigi continue esti setsu muna ingagaw esti gini ni mas tranquilo na respeto para hoto san para lo que este na lugar ni in fatututui sa kumuti man uno hit na tautawis ni intensivist ba i mabeturano si ingago esti todo ginahanmo ginahanitata ilahinya sa Espiritu Santo.
Thank you, Joe. So I'd like to call the following people up to the front, please. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Director San Augustine, Mega United Corporation Limited, Director Ariola, Deputy Director Ibanez, Speaker Terlahi, Senator Seneglis, and Vice Chairman Gamboa.
Wait, we put down this on now?
Everybody gear up.
I'm gonna try. Go ahead.
You're live.
Dwayne, I think we need a bigger helmet for you.
I know.
Mayor Frankie.
Can be adjusted.
Mayor Frankie, please join.
This on the video.
Mayor,
Mayor Frankie, please join.
Mayor Chakala. Mayor. Mayor, please.
We're right behind you.
Come on, Mayor.
Are we all ready? Okay, everybody grab your shovels. Oh. Okay, everybody in place. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.